Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of the Pajama Pals podcast. I'm Money.
I'm Captain.
I'm Fox.
I'm Cat.
I'm Mrs. B.
And I'm PC.
And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from our previous episode. We're going to be talking about games, ones we like, ones we don't. But before that, how is everybody doing this week?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking, Money. How are you doing? Since, none of you guys gave me that last week.
Hey,
In the
hey,
previous episode, if anybody noticed, that was our slight blunder.
that's
not,
that's a grudging.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold that against you, but I'm writing that down.
Going in the book.
That's it.
Uh,
And PC didn't say anything. PC,
I'm fine. Sorry. I was kind of waiting my turn.
no. Okay, well,
He's trying to be polite.
I was just making
Yeah.
sure you were okay, PC. You know, you're kind of quiet sometimes, and I get very concerned.
Typing T.
we have our
Keep
cue.
plotting.
Okay. PC, are you really okay though?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, just
Oh.
Key your mic if somebody's got a gun to your head.
Such blink twice, or
we can't see his blinks, Money.
I guess that won't work. Okay, well, you'll be fine till next week.
Yeah,
we'll keep you alive.
yeah, we'll see if PC's alive next episode. But
We'll just steal your engram.
trailing into our opening topic here, Kat, what do you got for us?
So, our opening topic of games that we would recommend. Mine is Warhammer Vermintide 2.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Pop-Tarts.
Oh, well, we can talk
Pop-Tarts,
about
the
that
game.
now.
Yeah,
I mean-
let's talk about our favorite Pop-Tarts. I don't know who wants to go first. 'Cause
This was your idea, damn it.
That's a hard question.
Stop
you
putting me in the
ruined
spot.
it!
Are the
Ruins
Pop-Tarts cooked, or are they like...
Nope, you're eating them straight out of the package.
I've never even had a cooked Pop Tart. I should try that. All right, I guess it's not cooked. It would be
They're
toasted.
Cut.
I'm with Money on that. I've never had a toasted one.
I've
Really?
had like one, like that I can
Wait.
like remember.
You guys don't cook them?
Sometimes I do,
It's
yeah,
like
but
eating
still,
raw
they're still
cookie
pretty
dough.
good.
Well, I just eat it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are we not supposed to?
yeah, it'll give you food poison.
Hey, I'm just gonna start. It's pretty basic, but the brown sugar, the cinnamon one, I'm a big fan of that. It's simple, but it's good.
You
That's-
would
yeah,
be fucking
The poor man's
boy.
Pop-Tart.
The poor
That's
man.
solid.
I thought
It
that
may
was
be basic.
I thought that was bread with cinnamon on it.
So,
It's got like a cinnamon filling type
hey,
style.
don't you diss cinnamon toast? That was my childhood.
Oh,
Yeah, that
I
is true.
recall because every morning you're like, "Oh, we're having cinnamon toast," and I was like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to have it again."
Too bad it has floor cleaner in it.
No, it's just arsenic.
I'm gonna go with the s'mores Pop Tart. It is probably the most basic bitch answer I can give,
Yeah.
but
it's solid.
they
Yeah.
taste good raw and they taste good toasted.
I think I had the best memories from the wild berry ones or whatever it's like
Yeah.
the purple.
The
blue stripe
berry
on it?
ones were solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those wild berry... Yeah,
Oh
I
my
totally forgot
god.
about those.
I remember having the blueberry ones, but I don't think I ever had the wild berry one, so that does sound good.
The wild berry were amazing. Nothing but
Sorry.
fond memories.
Hands down, best Pop-Tart are the apple strudel.
You know what? No.
Well, that also
no.
sounds good.
I
That-
mean, they're
that-
good,
I
but they're not.
don't think I ever had one of
They're
those.
good.
That
That's a
sounds good.
solid one.
Well,
Yeah.
especially if you toast them, like the icing gets a little glazed. Oh, it's good. Caramelizes a
The
little
only
bit.
thing glazed is Money's
Ooh.
eyes after a night of just pounding the weeds.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, rub and
Okay.
drugs.
It's the power.
You were going in like 8 different directions there, my guy.
I'd like to take this
Yeah, be
moment to
worried.
tell everyone that drugs are bad. Don't do them. All right,
Drugs are
continue.
bad.
Unless you live in like Colorado or
Yeah.
California or New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Or unless they're legal in your
Or
state,
Washington,
we are
or
Yeah.
you know,
we are not condoning
a lot of
anything that is
places.
not sanctioned by your state government.
All hail the
So-
state government.
I like cherry Pop-Tarts because I'm a fucking gen.
Oh, okay,
So-
cherry,
so-
cherry's
so-
good.
You said
I-
one thing true there.
A DJ.
Oh,
You know,
Oh.
I don't like the flavor of cherry because of the one like very crappy cough medicine that just ruined it
Yeah.
all. Like,
Do you guys ever find it funny that there's like grape flavor, but there's also like purple flavor, which they say is
What?
grape, but it's not. Like
I know exactly what you mean.
have you ever had like a grape candy? Or
Oh,
like it's got a or like grape Kool-Aid, like it's got a taste, which they
But-
say is grape, but it's not grape flavored. It's purple flavored.
it's like somebody has a trademark on the words grape flavored.
Yeah. And it's not bad. It's just not grape.
Yeah, it's
Like,
definitely not grape. Like you can taste
It's
the
it's
difference.
not bad, but it's not grape.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
T-shirt.
All right. All right. Did everybody talk about their favorite
The
Pop Tarts? PC? Did you?
PC.
What? Huh? Pop Tarts?
Yeah, your favorite Pop Tart.
Well, I don't go much for sweets, but one of my favorites was the red velvet cupcake.
Oh, yeah.
That's just
Okay, okay.
that was
Made of
way too
culture.
rich for me. Like they were good, but I just couldn't eat them all that often because like my teeth with sweet food do not mix
My
well.
teeth.
My teeth.
Teeth.
Teeth and gums.
Yeah, my teeth and gums. You know, the tooth that got knocked out playing football, flag football
It's
at
too
that.
fruity.
Oh, dang.
That's not
Flag
grape.
football rip.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not flag football. That was full contact, dude.
oh,
But
goddamn.
that's a story for another time.
Oh. So how about that Vermintide 2 cat?
Yeah, let's go into
Oh.
our game recommendations tab real quick. So, you want to talk about some of the games that we're recommending this week?
Sure. Some of the games we're recommending are Valheim, Honey Pop 2. Oh God, please.
Oh,
Armored Commander 2, Neo 2, and Super Hot VR.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the second one again? I didn't catch that.
Honey Pop 2.
Oh, thank you. There it is.
Are you sure you didn't hear Honey Pop 2?
Get your hearing aids in.
yeah, I just want
What?
everybody
Sorry.
to be aware that I am not the one that elected Honey Pop 2. Hey, look, there it is. Speaking
there,
of,
Oh yeah. Oh,
okay.
oh,
had
you
to
can
crop
tell.
that one.
Yeah, we did, unfortunately. But moving right along here. So let's go ahead and get into Cat's Warhammer discussion real quick. All right, Cat.
Okay.
What would you like to discuss today?
So, like I said, I recommend Warhammer Vermintide 2, as it is a great, is a 4-player co-op hack and slash, more or less. Game is developed by Fat Shark, who did the first one, which was also very good, but building off of the first one and polishing up some of the gameplay mechanics. But it is 4-player co-op, objective based, much like Left 4 Dead type or Space Hulk Deathwing, whichever you'd like.
Nobody
But,
likes Deathwing.
No, nobody did. Let's be honest here.
It definitely very much reminded me of Left 4 Dead when I've played it. Is it's got that reel where like it's like 4 people facing off against like hundreds of opponents. So it's very much that like horde style of gameplay, which can be quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's very rich in mechanics, and the combat is honestly like one of the main reasons I've played this game for over 1,000 hours. But there are like 5 total characters. Each of them have 3 subclasses. 2 and the next their 4th subclass will be added later in DLC. But right now, Marcus Kruber, the Empire Soldier, has his 4th, and the Dwarf Ranger Barton Gorkson also has his 4th. And what I think is one of the neat parts of this game is how diverse you can get in your like group comp. So as you probably see in the footage, I'm running with a mercenary captain, Marcus Kruber, with an unchained Sienna Fuigonassus, and a Ironbreaker, Barton Gorkson. Meanwhile, I am playing the Zealot Victor Saltzpyre. So mostly a frontline oriented group. Very very melee based, although the Marcus Kruger is just there for team support and giving attack speed bonus, damage reduction bonus, and temp HP bonus.
What is the what is the progression like? Is it like level based or gear based or?
Yeah, so like the first one, different. You have different weapons, different charms and trinkets that you can equip and that you get through completing levels. At the end of each level, you're given a chest or a coffer or something along those lines. That
A battle box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically a battle box. I would say loot box, but that has a very negative connotation
Yeah,
to it.
well, and
Which we will talk about later.
this kind of box, you are always guaranteed to get something, and it's based on how well you do during the game itself. Like if you collect Grims, which have negative effects on your team.
Yeah, which
Kat,
make
you
the
could
game
probably
harder.
yeah, you could probably explain them a lot better than I can, because I don't nearly have as many hours or knowledge of the gameplay as you do.
Yeah, so way to get better gear is to collect what are Grims and Tomes throughout the level. Some of them are hidden through like small jump puzzle type things. Some of them are just straight up in a path that you would not normally take to get to the next stage in your objective. But there are 2 grimoires in every level, and there are 3 tomes. Tomes will take the place of a healing item, which can be dropped, and a healing item can be picked up. The grims, on the other hand, cannot. And once you drop them, they're gone for good. But they take the slot of a utility potion. So instead of being able to carry like a strength potion or a speed potion or a concentration potion, you are stuck with this thing that will lower your whole group's max HP by a certain percentage.
So it's like kind of like a optional hard mode type.
Yeah, it's like an artificial difficulty. It makes the game harder, but the rewards are better.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
So
if you escape with the Grims, any loot die, and the tomes, you're almost guaranteed the highest level chest of whatever level you're playing, right?
yeah, exactly. Like and that leads into the other thing of loot dice drop from any monster, so chaos spawn, rat ogres, storm fiends, minotaurs, things like that, or even like some bosses will drop multiple loot dice, but those will add up at the end of each level and also give you better rewards. So on some levels, similar to like Skittergate for one,
Ugh.
most people don't grab a second Grim. Yeah, I know the name just agony.
I think I still need to play Skittergate to get the first level of cosmetics and all that from playing.
Oh yeah.
Because like, aren't there optional cosmetics which you can buy? Isn't there a shop to some extent?
Yeah, and they're I think priced at like $2.99.
Okay,
and it's
so
like
pretty,
a hat.
Yeah, that's very reasonable compared to
Hats
other
or
games.
skins, because I play Grail Knight, of course, because I'm a filthy casual. And
Girl
like
Night Broken.
his cosmetics are very, very nice. Like, I didn't mind paying the $3 to get like a full pack, which is
Yeah.
like I liked the way they designed it. Is you have to complete challenges to get it, which I thought was very entertaining. It was like, okay, I got to try and do this to get this cosmetic. Like, it gives you a little extra something to do while playing the base game.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is with the DLC careers of Outcast Engineer for Barton Gorikson and Grail Knight for Marcus Kruber, is that they separate the cosmetic upgrade and the career class itself. So if you just want to play the class and don't care about any of the cosmetics, you can buy that and it's like $3. If you want the cosmetic upgrade, you can fork over another like $2.50, something like that, to get the cosmetic pack, which adds a bunch of challenges and stuff that you can complete and get your skins, your outfits, your portrait frames, and that kind of thing from it. But also they have a system of weeklies and dailies that you can complete. Like it might be play 2 games as Sienna Fueganassus or kill 25 elites as a party, and they will give you these in-game currency called shillings, and you spend shillings to get skins and weapon illusions and headgears and that kind of thing, which is a really neat system, and there's no way to like get it like to pay money for this, but it's all just a purely cosmetic system.
Yeah, and that's what I appreciate the most about the game is the shillings are so easy to get.
Yeah. And some of the headgears are very interesting as well.
Oh, the Salt Spire headgear always gets me.
Oh yeah, the one with the pig on his head.
Yeah, that's the best one.
And then I've got like lore wise, is this because this is Warhammer? Is this Age of Sigmar or is this pre Sigmar?
This is pre-Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
This is this game is of course Warhammer Fantasy, but takes place during the end times. So towards the end of the lore, but as far as I know, there isn't a whole lot of lore around the end times, but which is really nice because it gives a very blank canvas for this, so the devs can kind of do what they want to an extent.
So you can just wreck fools.
Yeah, so because who doesn't like whacking rats?
Well, I'm looking at this and I'm glad that I don't have the Beastmen DLC.
Oh yeah, when Beastmen first came out, they were a nightmare.
Beastmen are still a nightmare.
They still are a nightmare.
I still remember you like the first time out. You were just like, man, this is horrible.
Yeah, it's like, please, I don't want to get Beastmen, please.
But the game itself right now, as it stands, the game without any DLC, not on sale, is $30. The DLC definitely takes it up a notch, but there's like very sizable content within the DLC.
Yeah, and that's another really cool feature that the devs did is the any of the DLC maps you can play without having the DLC, just as long as somebody in your group has it. That's why, like, some of you that have played with me don't have the DLC, but we've played DLC maps because I own the DLC.
And we fought Beastmen. I try to forget. I still have Vietnam flashbacks.
So we can play Enchanter's Lair 3 times in a row then?
Oh, my favorite.
Oh, that's free DLC, please.
Oh.
Yeah, Enchanter's Lair is horrible map. I enjoyed the gameplay and the challenge of it, but that boss, man, he is just too difficult.
He really
especially for my smooth brain, because I'm just like, man, I'm gonna go hit him, and then I die. Yeah, and then he hits me back, and I'm like, holy shit.
Speaking of smooth brains, just watching myself run into a storm vermin patrol that I easily could have avoided. Oh, my lizard brain. I need those meaty whacks.
It's that clanky noise over there.
Just need to hit some rats with a big machete.
I
for Sigmar.
My first introduction to Vermintide as a series was Captain introducing me to it, and I was like, man, this is kind of whack, because I was too much of a bitch to admit that I was enjoying myself. Because whenever
Fox never likes any of the games I show him.
Yeah, and then like a month later, I'm like,
and then a month later, he'll be playing them with other people.
Yeah, and Kevin will be like, dude, what the hell? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Unfortunately, like, and I think a lot of my problem is I don't give games enough time to really impress me.
Yeah.
Rock Galactic.
Whatever. That's why it's not on this week's recommendation list, Miss B.
Oof.
Oh,
you got a recommendation.
You're gonna flex on me next
Galactic
month.
is a good game.
Can I have 2 next month?
No, you can only have 1 next month. Yeah, I mean, like I thoroughly enjoy playing Vermintide. Of course I only play Marcus Kruber, but I've given Soulspire a try. I've given some other heroes a try. I enjoy his gameplay a lot more. I don't know if it just comes down to like me being able to just shield bash enemies off an edge. Oh, Cat, what happened there?
Well, as Zealot works, the lower his health is, the more damage he'll deal, and so I try to play it on the edge and take as much damage as I can till I'm like at 5 HP or even better at 1 HP. But sometimes I get a little carried away, and I'll, like I did there, aggro a couple of storm vermins, and they all three decide to overhead me at once, and I can't get out of it.
No.
But that's my own lizard brain.
Does anybody have anything else to add on? Kat, I know that you had kind of a list set up on what you wanted to talk about. Did you have anything else on there?
Well, the devs keep the game updated very very well. It has a nice community to it, and you you meet much nicer people when you get higher up in the difficulties. There are a few people who will really jump your case if you mess up on lower difficulties for no reason. But most of the skilled player base are very, very nice and very welcoming people. So if you do start, definitely try to get up the difficulty ladder as quick as you can.
Well, and there's especially because there's a lot of guides and stuff out there too for builds and how to beat levels, in the easiest way possible as well, isn't there?
Oh yes, there's especially one build author, Royale with Cheese. He's a fantastic guy. Like,
that's also a great name.
Yeah, I know. He's a wonderful guy. You ask him any questions on any of his builds, and he will be more than happy to answer. He spells everything out very mechanically, and he's just overall a really great guy and really good for this community.
Well, it's good to hear that you are recommending Vermintide 2 this week. And,
Oh yes.
like I said, the base game is super cheap. Oh, look at that loot rat. Oh, what an idiot. Oh, and there's the loot die we were talking about.
Fuck nerd.
He was stuck.
But yeah, I mean, for a base game, $30, which they dropped very quickly after its release. They didn't keep it at 60 for very long.
No, and it goes on sale quite frequently. I believe, as of this recording, it is on sale for $7.49.
And that's all the DLC are on sale too, right?
Yep, they are all 50 to 75% off.
And the game itself is very much definitely worth every penny.
Yeah.
And I'll also say just real quick for anyone who's watching the footage here and thinks this is like a real brain dead game where you're just smashing rats and not thinking. That's like what I thought when I first played it, and then I got absolutely rolled. There's like a whole block and dodge system, and all the characters are very different. Like it's not just brainless whacking. There's quite a lot more to that, and that's why whenever I play with Kat, he's always like way further into the level, just wrecking everything, and I'm like trying to survive or getting picked up.
Cat's like dancing around them, making it look like a ballet, and we're all back there just getting steamrolled.
Unless I'm playing Kruber, mercenary with a shield where I just push rats off a cliff or into a rattling gunner.
Yeah,
those are good times.
The old stagger system is also very very nice system. Rewards you for being support, but also not straying away from a fight. If you're just knocking rats around and knocking them on their ass while your teammates are chopping them up and stuff while they're down, you're helping them because they don't have to worry about being hurt or damaged, and you can help your team in that way. But there's a lot of different builds that really just feel nice.
Does it have to be a team game, or can you just carry me to victory?
I can always carry you.
Like,
Don't you worry about that.
could you feasibly play it solo? Like, whole
Well,
level?
that's what he's
Yes!
doing right now.
I've seen
actually.
this man clutch so hard, like you would not believe.
Yeah,
But, like,
and
do you have like AI teammates though when you play solo? Or?
yeah, in the footage right now, I'm playing with nothing but bots. And after they had a patch, even like a couple days ago, as of this recording, that they improved the bots quite a bit, so they sort of follow you closer and more or less act like they're trying to make you the star of the show.
Hmm.
Like they can be kind of derpy sometimes, as like chasing a hook rat across the map, because I've seen that happen. But
It kind of reminds me of playing Left 4 Dead 2 a lot, but instead of with guns, it's a lot more up close and personal hack and slash.
yeah, exactly, and it's like I said, got a lot of mechanics like pushing and dodging,
Ooh.
heavy attacks, light attacks, staggering.
God, I'm
And,
not sure if this is, but like the character voice lines have to be at least half the game file size because it is so diverse and there are so many of them. Like even in the time I've played, I have not heard them all. And I just hear things like, "Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that."
Yeah, and that's like another really cool thing about this game is that the characters like have their own personality. Like they'll joke with each other, give each other shit for like I think there I threw a bomb and I missed, and one of the
Lumberfoot.
one of the characters makes an offhanded comment on you missed all of them with that bomb. Like what's wrong with you?
All right, and this is pretty much the end of the recording here. Victorious, look at that.
Yeah, Righteous Stand. What a wonderful map.
Yeah, Righteous
Big
Stand
pog.
is one of the best maps in the game. But Kat, any closing statements or anything like that for Warhammer?
Like I said, it goes on sale quite frequently. It's definitely a great game. It's kept me occupied for, I'm looking at it now, 1,125 hours played. It is
Buy it now.
yeah,
You're
buy
telling
it
on
now.
yourself.
All right, so now we are getting into Neo 2. Money, go ahead and take it away.
Oh, so Neo 2. So Neo 2. For anyone who doesn't know, Neo 2 is the sequel to the original Neo, which came out at least originally exclusively for PS4 back in 2017. And long story short, Neo is Dark Souls if it was made by the company Team Ninja, which made Ninja Gaiden most famously, and also the Dead or Alive series. So it's basically Japanese Dark Souls is the long and short of it.
I mean,
but,
isn't Dark Souls Japanese?
Yeah,
well, Dark
Or
Souls
Japanese.
is made by a Japanese company, but it features sort of pseudo-Western Gothic themes, whereas this is like all about Japan, 100%.
European JRPG.
Yeah, in terms of the lore, so to speak, and the setting. But while a lot of the mechanics are very Soulsian or Soulsborne like, there are a lot of other notable differences. So in terms of things that are similar, it's a action RPG with controls which are fairly similar to Dark Souls, and level design which is fairly similar to Dark Souls. There's things like gates and shortcuts which you have to open from the other side if you want to make the level more accessible, things like that. But at the same time, things that make it different is it has a very Diablo-esque sort of loot style. You're going to constantly be getting tons of gear with different stats and stuff like that. So it's definitely different in that way. Another thing which separates us, which is really pretty cool, is if you look down in the bottom right, there's that little sort of 4 stance gauge thing. And every weapon that you get has 3 stances. There's a low stance, a mid stance, and a high stance. And that provides a completely different move and combo set for every weapon in the game. So low stance is you don't use a lot of stamina and you do a lot of quick blows that don't do a bunch of damage. High stance is you do a bunch of slow blows that use a lot of stamina and do a lot of damage. And then middle stance is sort of a happy medium in between the two. and you can sort of switch between each of those stances on the fly during combat, which is a lot of fun. So that's one thing that really sets it apart, and the other which sets it apart, which I think is a huge mechanic, which not a lot of people use. Well, people do use it, but it's not talked about as much as I think it ought to be. Your stamina bar, when I get into a fight here, you'll see it, but basically when you expend stamina and that green bar goes down, it'll start to refill slowly in blue. And if you tap the R1 button, you can basically do a little pulse, which gets all of your stamina back a lot quicker than it normally would. And in higher level gameplay, you have to use that to basically keep your stamina bar topped up. Otherwise, you would have a lot more trouble. So yeah, basically, for the most part, it's just a more modern Dark Souls style game with a lot of extra mechanics, and it's also really freaking hard. I would argue more difficult than other Soulsborne games. But at the same time, there's also a lot of different things which it provides, which make it a little bit easier. There's really easy ways to integrate co-op or to summon in people, stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a whole lot of fun, personally. It originally came out for PS4, Neo 2 did last March, but the complete edition just was released on Steam just a little while back, which is the full game as well as the first 3 DLCs for $49.99, which I think is a very, very good price for all of the content that you're getting. You could easily put 100+ hours into this game, which is a whole lot of fun.
So what kind of like weapon options do you have in Neo 2? Oh.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that's one of the yokai enemies right there that just popped up, which wrecks me pretty hard, but I managed to beat him, at least I think. Yeah. So one thing that does separate it a little bit from Dark Souls is the gear progression system. So unlike something like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, where every individual weapon is a unique piece of gear, there are sort of gear archetypes, certainly for the weapons that you use. So I believe there's nine or 10 separate archetypes, which are all very different. There's a normal katana, which I'm using. There's a spear, which is what's on my back. What else is there? There's like where you dual wield 2 shorter katanas. There's like gauntlets where you do like kung fu and kicks and stuff. There's a big sword. There is like a bow staff. There's a switchglaive, which is like a Bloodborne-esque scythe type weapon. There's a kusarigama, which is basically, it's like a little scythe on one end with a chain, which is connected to a weight, where you can do a bunch of cool like ninja-esque moves. What else is there? There are tonkas, I believe, which are like I don't know how to describe them. It's sort of like a little baton thing, which is like an L with a little bit that extends, and you have one in both hands, and you can whip them around.
Like
cool stuff.
sights on chains. Is that what I'm thinking of?
No, oh man, I wish I could. There's a Soul Calibur character who uses them.
Captain knows.
Like
Yeah.
kunai?
Captain knows.
No. They're like a blunt weapon, right? You said like
Yeah.
a baton. Yeah.
Yeah, like
What are those called? Yeah, they're like an Okinawan weapon.
yeah, and I think they're called tonkas in this game.
Tonfas. That's what
Tonfa. There we go. But that they're really cool because they're like a happy medium between like a fast weapon and a slow weapon. And then I think that's mostly all of them. I think I might have forgotten 1 or 2. But there's all of the weapons fall into those archetypes, and then while there may only be a set number of archetypes, every weapon has a unique combo system, which has differences between the high stance, the mid stance, and the low stance. So that makes all of the weapons all that more deep. And then another thing which is sort of cool is there's the skill tree for each of the weapons. And how you get skill points in each of these trees is you just use the weapon more. So if you use a spear, for instance, and you're constantly fighting enemies with that and killing enemies with that, you'll build up skill points to put into the spear skill tree, and then level that up, and you'll unlock new moves like parries or different combos or all sorts of cool stuff. So definitely a little bit different, but there's also neat stuff too. What I did right there just in game, this is a new thing that was brought into Neo 2, is your character is basically like a half demon person, and you can do these cool moves called burst counters, where you're basically able to stagger enemies during certain moves, and you can even stagger bosses during certain moves. It's kind of like how in Dark Souls you can parry certain bosses, and do a whole bunch of damage. That's a thing that exists.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, a lot of neat stuff. Basically, if you want a good Souls-like and you've already beaten all the Souls in Bloodborne and you're waiting for Elden Ring to come out, I would highly recommend this game, especially if you want something hard, because this is a very tricky game. The damage values can really stack up super quick, but at the same time, it is a ton of fun. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything like that. I feel like I've spelled out most of it, but
does it have that? What was it called in Dark Souls, where like people could invade your game, like other players, and basically just kick the crap out of you because they're running really weird builds?
You're alive, and you can be invaded because you're alive.
Yeah.
Or if you summoned someone earlier. So how it does that? It doesn't have invasions like that per se. But what you will see, and I'm sure I'll run across one here fairly soon, is it'll have these like red swords which are stuck into the ground, or blue swords which are stuck into the ground. And basically, the red swords are previous places where other players have died. And you can actually interact with those, and it will summon like an AI version of that other player's character into your world at their level, and you can fight them. And if you're able to kill them, you'll basically get a random roll on any of the gear which they had on their character. So it's a good way to farm up, gear from those. And then conversely, the blue swords which are stuck into the ground are basically like friendly AI summons, which you can summon up, and they'll help you fight bosses or help you fight other enemies. And then there's also a whole system where you can basically co-op with, I think, up to 4 people in a match. And you basically have like a shared revive pool. So if somebody goes down, it will lower the overall revive score. And if you reduce all of that, then you fail the level. But it's sort of a cool way to do co-op. Also, like right here, this is an example of the pathways. You'll like kick down ladders to open up stuff like that. So if you like the whole sort of intertwined Souls-like level design, which slowly gets more complex as you play more of the level, this game definitely has a lot of that. And this is only the first level which we're showing here, so it's not that complex.
Oh, okay.
I've seen money die here a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely a game where you can think you're doing real well, and then you'll realize that the basic enemies can like 3-shot you if you're not super careful. And this is also a super easy level because like I'm fighting mostly human opponents here, and there's only some of the yokai opponents, which are the spooky, scary Japanese monsters.
What's in the box?
Yeah, and there's chests, and there's also mimics in some of the boxes. And a fun fact for anyone who didn't know, this is a real pro tip. If you go up to a box, and I believe you have to bow before the box, and if it is a mimic, the little tanuki thing that is living in it will pop out, and he will turn into an AI version of your character, and he will do a specific emote. If you do that emote back at them, they will bow to you and leave, and you get all the gear for free, and you don't have to fight them.
Oh, nice.
But if you mess it up, then you do have to fight them. So
That's
pro tip
pretty
there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot of other cool stuff. There's ninjutsu and I forget what the name of the magic system is. But they're basically things which allow you to put buffs on yourself or debuffs on your enemies which you're fighting. And certainly later game, you can do some really broken stuff where you like super debuff bosses and you can deal like crazy damage. And you'll find that can be really rather useful later on in the game because they get really, really hard. So it's nice that you're able to power yourself up later on in the game. But yeah, that's more or less all of the main stuff. Have any of you guys played the Dark Souls series? I think a couple of you have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played through 1 and 3. I still think 1 was my favorite. Like, while it
Oh,
was a
one's
little more
great.
difficult, like I don't think it's as difficult as people would say it is.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
that's
I
just my
played all
opinion.
3 Dark Souls games and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I've done the same, and I'll just say here that Bloodborne is the best out of all of them, followed by Dark Souls 3.
All right. What
Agreed.
about Sekiro though?
That's another good one. That's another good one, which I just fully beat it fairly recently. But that is similar to Neo in like the aesthetic and the lore, so to speak. But the gameplay, like Neo, is definitely more arcadey in a lot of different ways, and the lore is presented very differently. But definitely in terms of the level design and the mechanic, where if you die, you drop all your EXP and you have to make your way back to your body and pick it up. That is definitely the same. But yeah, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, also another great game. Also very hard, probably a lot harder than some of the Souls ones.
Yeah, I played through that one as well, and I had a real tough time.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm too dumb and like I get way spammy in certain games and I just can't do it. And especially games that require certain timings I'm not very good with.
Yeah, with Sekiro, the thing was really the parry system, or the what was it called? Deflect. That was what it was called
Yeah.
specifically. It was a really really integral part of the game. Like in other Souls games, parrying was a useful tactic, but it wasn't mandatory. Whereas in this one, it really is something that you pretty much have to have. So that's why that game was a little bit harder. This game has parrying, which is actually inputted differently for different weapons and stuff. But yeah, a lot of fun, similarities, but just enough which is different to keep it fresh. So if you're looking for a good Souls-like game to hold you over until Elden Ring, definitely check out Neo or Neo 2.
And Neo 2 right now is running $50 on Steam. PC, what were you gonna say?
I was going to ask if this is like mouse and keyboard compatible.
That is a good thing to know. It's the PC port is actually pretty solid. The PC port for the first Neo was not very solid. This is a good PC port, but it is really expecting you to play it on controller. You can technically play it with mouse and keyboard, I think, if you really wanted to, but it's not super optimized for that. It's really expecting you have some sort of controller to use for it. So it's definitely less mouse and keyboard friendly than something like Dark Souls, but it is possible.
Well, that's actually good information to know. Ooh, I think we're getting a little close to the end here.
Yeah.
Do you
But
really...
yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
just it is the Neo 2 Complete edition for $49.99. That's with all 3 DLCs. I would say it's very much worth it for what you're picking up.
I didn't
That would
realize
be
it
my-
came with all the DLC too. Huh.
Yeah,
I'll have to look into it.
It's the complete version. So $50 for that plus all 3 DLCs. It's a good time if you like these kinds of games.
For sure. All right. And Money,
Shizzle.
do you have any more to say?
Um.
that was the end of the recording.
Bloodborne is better than Dark Souls 3. And we'll call it right there.
Alrighty, we are moving into a
True.
very popular game as of late, named Valheim. Miss B, go ahead and take it away.
Oh yes.
Alright, so welcome to Valheim, the 10th Norse world. The game is developed by Iron Gate AB and it's published by Coffee Stain Publishing, who, if any of you know, also published Deep Rock Galactic and Satisfactory. So, when you start out, basically you're brought to Valheim by the Valkyries at the request of Odin to slay his former enemies. And after you've done this, it's basically to prove yourself so that you can enter Valhalla. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed playing it so far. This is why I picked it as my review game. So when you're playing it, you can explore uncharted lands, and all the maps are procedurally generated. So you'll see, similar things like maybe the trees and the rocks and the things you're finding. But besides that, the terrain completely procedurally generated. Even the cave systems, or I should say the crypts and dungeons, are procedurally generated. So you'll have a really hard time finding anything that's the same.
Oh yes, the Miss B hut. Here we go. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
We're going
yeah,
right
my
into the next gameplay. You
nice
see
little
them running
old
around like
place.
chickens with their head cut off.
And this is currently in early access. It just came to Steam in early access, if I have it right.
I'll get to that. So basically, when you're playing the game, it's kind of a survival game, more or less. But really, the only survival aspect, in my opinion, is the gathering food. But that plays into a key part of the game, where the food that you consume determines how much energy and how much health you have at the time.
I'm looking at the recording, and this is the issue Miss B was having issues with that he was complaining about last night.
Oh, is that what you
Yeah,
mean when
it
I'm
was-
building that thing? Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I
That
was
was like
cruising
speed
that.
building.
Oh,
So you can sail across vast seas, build grand fortresses, or in that case, just a little forge that I was having a really hard time with. In all the time, you're honing your equipment and skills and battling mythical creatures like trolls who destroy trees like they're nothing.
oh yeah, we just went past that.
So
We're
you
at
can
the
do
end.
Or
this.
wreck your storehouse when you're trying to build it, and
Yeah.
everybody ditches you, and you have to kite the troll around for 15 minutes while you wait for your buddies to run back.
Money, I feel like
Can't
that.
handle a regular troll by yourself.
I had a tiny wood cutting axe. I was not equipped to deal with that. I feel no shame.
Yeah, so you can play, by yourself if you're really hardcore, or up to 10 people in total. I just think I've done a really good job.
And the oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say the game's difficulty stacks with players, correct?
Yes, it does.
Oh, it
So,
does. Oh, I didn't know.
yeah, the more people you have, the more crazy it gets, or so I'm told. So,
Yes.
if you notice, the graphics are pretty simple, but they're still very alluring. And after you played it for a little bit, you don't even realize how simple the graphics are, because they've done it so well. And
RuneScape.
Yeah,
RuneScape. Yeah, a little bit.
It's good though. It's good
yeah,
though.
I
RuneScape with
thoroughly
little risk of
like,
rain.
I give the game crap for the graphics, but they are actually very nice and
And
Yeah.
the lighting system is really
yes,
solid.
yes.
Yeah. And so the nice thing about it is, even with older hardware, like what I'm running with, I'm still getting stable frames and well over 60 frames. If you can see up in the right corner, even in the middle of a fight scene, I'm running over 60 frames. So let's see. So yeah, the weather, day and night cycles, the weather and the atmosphere is just fantastic. You've seen in some of the clips, it's just when the fog rolls in, you can't hardly see anything. The forests are beautiful. It's just great. Just like everything in this game, they've kept it simple and straightforward. The combat mechanics, simple and straightforward, but it's still very in depth, because there's a lot of variation in the things you can do, even though there's only basically you have your main attack, your second attack, and your blocking. But even with that, it just meshes really well together.
And I can really see now why the game is so popular. Because I haven't played it personally, and Like, now just getting a look at some of the gameplay, I can understand why you guys are having so much fun with it.
Everyone, but
Oh,
everyone
yes.
here has played it except Fox.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it, you know. But
Dude,
it,
so
it
so
really
this,
does look great.
yeah, it does. I'm very happy with my purchase of it. The game launched on February 2nd, and in the first week they had already sold over 1 million copies, which is very
Dang.
impressive. So it launched in early access on Steam,
That's why
February 2nd. I
all
mean,
the
it is
streamers and
impressive.
their mothers are playing it.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, currently
Very
right now
impressive.
over 30,000 reviews, and 96% of them are positive, which is
Overwhelmingly.
overwhelmingly. And for something that is early access, like a lot of games nowadays, you run into a bunch of bugs, especially early access games, because you're kind of a bit of a tester when you're
Oh,
getting
yeah.
into that. But this one, I think I've ran into like one or two in the 40 hours of gameplay I've had, and they were super minor things. So it was just, I'm very happy, worth every penny I paid for it.
And how much did you pay for the game?
Oh, $20, and I've already chipped it down to 50 cents an hour for how much I've played. So, and I plan to do more. It's very
Oh, yeah.
enjoyable.
I imagine you could definitely, like, just with the amount of, creative freedom you have with building and stuff like that, like, I imagine you could
Yeah.
easily log in maybe 200, 300 hours easy.
So, I'd imagine
Yeah.
because the map size, like what I can tell so far, again, 40 hours barely scraped the surface of this game. And I can tell you the map is just absolutely huge. I cannot even imagine
And it
what
blows
there
my
is in store for
mind
me.
for an early access game, there's just so much content, and especially
Yeah.
considering that you guys haven't even gotten to half of it.
And it's very polished even more so.
Yeah.
It is.
And a cool thing about the game is like you get the whole environment's pretty destructible. You can dig anywhere, kind of dig a trench. We just dug a canal.
Oh,
Miss
yeah,
B just got
Earlier.
we
smacked
dug
by
the
trolls.
Valheim Canal for
Oh,
our
oh yeah,
boat.
yeah. Here we go.
Oh,
Here's the Valheim
yeah,
Canal now.
the boys. Hop on, boys.
You can
Oh.
do a lot, and
Oh,
your options are pretty much as limited as your imagination in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the building again, it's pretty straightforward, but like the options of all the things you can do is really, really well done.
Yeah,
When we
and
encountered the first serpent and we
Oh,
didn't even know
yeah.
existed.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
Miss B
Yeah, we're just
screaming.
just chilling on the boat. We're like going along, like, oh, it's been a hard day working, digging the canals, and what the shit is that?
And then the troll just crushing Miss B with a tree.
Ew.
Freaking out.
That's-
Let's see something come out of the water, and
Oh,
one of
there
us
are
is
sea monsters?
AFK.
Yeah.
I'm
But
sorry.
For $20, like, you can't go wrong. Like, this is
Yes,
incredible.
it's real solid for the amount they're asking. And like it's like nice because you can go and explore and do combat like Miss B and all of the Chads, or you can be like me who just stays at base and builds a random tower and like storehouses and stuff. So it's
Doesn't
storehouse
spend
of
any
all the
time leveling up his weapon skills. And just
hey
gets
man,
steamrolled by a troll.
my wood chopping is great. That's all I care about.
And
Alright.
yeah, it's just very well made. Definitely recommend.
Do you have anything else to say before we go ahead and move on to the next, or
Oop.
are you...
On to the next one.
Alright, so now we get to talk about my recommendation, which is Armored Commander 2. Now, I know that you guys have heard me talk about it a little bit, and we've been playing it. Well, I've been playing it in Discord, and of course, you're all my crew members, besides Miss B, because usually if I die, I replace myself with Miss B, which I haven't died yet. So, this is a roguelike, tank simulator, pretty much, for World War II. Right now, I am playing on the German front as the Americans. As you can see, I am in a Sherman, nicknamed Copperhead. Luckily, I don't die in this tank. This is a first. So I've talked to the creator of the game a little bit. For those of you who don't know, his name is Gregory Scott. He gave me a little bit of a statement on what made him first design the first game. Down at the bottom, you can actually see a link to his blog. And the first Armored Commander is actually free to play. He says he is. I asked him a little bit for a little bit of information on what he was thinking and why he designed the game, and he talks about a solitaire board game called Patton's Best that was made in 1987. And he based his first design off of that game. And he was, he was rooting around because he wanted to play the original. And he realized that the dice rolls and all that could just be computerized and easily adapted. And you didn't have to look up all the enemies and all that when you're rolling, right? And he actually designed the first one in Python. I think the second one is designed in Python as well. But he, upon the finish of the first one, he actually wanted to restart and build upon the standard model that he had. And he learned a lot from developing the first one and expanded the scope to cover the entire war. And this leads into Armored Commander 2, which started February 2016. And keep in mind, I think he released, so Steam Early Access in May 2020. And he's hoping to actually leave Early Access in 2021, the midsummer-ish time of mid-2021. But this game, I have the most enjoyable time playing this game, and by all means, I'm not very good at it. I because I make really dumb mistakes throughout this entire recording. Right there, for example, the vehicle's hold down, and I hit, but it technically misses because he's hold down. So I just completely, blow off just the fact that I could have killed that enemy had I moved. And what you're seeing here is the main campaign menu. So you have little objectives here and there that you should, go recon, stuff like that. There's the little yellow dots in the G grid down there. That's one of those points. And this is a counterattack, so I'm currently, trying to hold territory from the enemy. So I'm slowly coming back to zones that I need to keep. But it's one of the most intense games for what it is. Like, you can be completely just panicking in this game without it's not even a first person shooter, nothing like that. It just the possibility of just completely getting decimated in a short amount of time is very real with this game. And actually, you see here, I get one of the best tanks in the game, which is the Pershing. So thrilled because compared to the Sherman, it's just so much better. But you can nickname your tank, as you see here. I'm nicknaming this one Citadel. And the game has different victory point modifiers, so throughout every mission you get victory points. The Pershing itself is very strong, so you're gonna get negative modifiers, stuff like that. I'm trying to think what else. Ammo. So we're getting into ammo. So you can kind of see there's 3 different types of ammo, and certain crew perks will actually enable you to get more types of ammo. So, for right now, I screwed up and I only take 4 APCR rounds instead of the 5, which you can actually get more if your crew, your loader has the ammo scrounger perk. And it's a neat system where you've got your stores and then you've got your ready rack, and you can actually take extra rounds with you if you choose. I don't know what kind of debuffs or anything like that you get. And here's the whole crew level system, right here. So you see ammo scrounger right there. I actually take gun maintenance, just so the gun doesn't break in the middle of combat. Miss B has stories all about that.
Oh gosh.
But yeah,
I'm sorry, your gun's not going to be fixed.
you actually see on the left-hand side there in the crew screen, that you have whole like the BU, which is button up. So they're actually inside the tank right now. You can actually open a hatch, get a better view of things, and you can actually spot certain vehicles and stuff like that. And it makes it a lot easier to spot them and recognize them. Which, it's very simple, and it's just so entertaining. I thoroughly enjoy the game so much. And it's just so, like, it's hard to put into words. I probably should have thought about this a lot more before we got into it. But it's just
I
so
mean,
much fun.
yeah.
And
I've played the first one at Fox's insistence, or not insistence, but his recommendation, and I played it, and I've actually really enjoyed it, like more so than I thought. Because I was like, wow, this looks like a really like simple design, and everything, but you really get into it, and before you know it, you're just like, wow, I'm getting good at this. And then you roll up into an area and get one shot by hitting an anti-tank gun, and you're like, I'm really bad at this.
Well, and it's those moments when you're like trying to get unbogged and you break your track, and then you have to go and you waste your entire combat day after that. So you don't get any victory points. So you're just like, wow, well, I feel really dumb. And then the moments where you break your gun after trying to fix it for like an hour of combat time.
You're in a cold sweat.
Yeah, like a freaking cold sweat, and I'm just sitting there like, please, 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 as there's two panthers rolling up. But as you're seeing, there's actually a lot of options for crew members. Spotting especially. I probably micromanage way too much of my crew because there's actually a what am I thinking of? Oh man, what's the word? I can't think.
Happiness.
No, not happiness. The opposite.
Morale.
Not morale. I can't remember. Hey, look, there's a Panzer. There's a there's a Jagdpanzer.
Oh
Or
no.
it's fine.
Stug.
It's
Stug.
something like that. Jagdpanzer 4. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, I like that it has the imagery of what you're looking at in the
Yeah.
second
So
one.
images. So a
Gruntle.
lot of the images and stuff like that are actually designed by I hope I say his name right. Flory. He's a Discord community member in the Armored Commander Discord. He made a lot of the campaigns. He made suggestions for the game that help improve. He's a very awesome dude. I enjoy talking to him and Gregory about the game itself, and it's just so much fun. I just enjoy every second that I'm playing it. And the best thing about it is this game is only $8. Like it's a very niche game in my opinion. But the people that are gonna play this and know what they're getting into are gonna enjoy it. Because there's nothing else out there like it. It
Definitely for the amount that they're asking for it, like with the amount of content and sort of the variations with everything, it seems very, very, very much worth it.
oh yeah, and it's just so much. There's so much that you can do. Like right now, you see, I'm trying to get a decent shot, but right now there's a blizzard, there's a smoke, and it's a smaller target, so it's very hard to get a hit on. There's actually well, you see that Pershing had no problem, but apparently, Mr. Stacks there was having a bad day at the gun, which is fine.
It's bound to happen.
With my luck, it's a small target that's moving through cover, and I'm using the wrong ammo type shooting at it.
Oh yeah, that do be a problem. But with like these light armored vehicles, I'll just shoot HE at them all day. Because if it pens, you get a chance to kill the infantry inside too, which makes it so much better.
Oh yeah, before they get out and start peppering your tank.
Yeah, which I learned very quickly is a bad idea because sometimes I like to keep my commander out there way too long, and he gets shot and almost sniped. Which there's an achievement that your commander survives a sniper attack. It's it's very interesting to get the dialogue like, "Hey, you almost died," and I'm like, "Cool, I didn't die, yay!" And you can actually see up in the top right, so it's got overcast, blizzard, cold, and snow. The cold actually gives you a debuff on certain things. Sometimes uh, things will malfunction and break because it's too cold, and like same goes for the heat. Um, and your crew, depending on how they are, if they are fully energized, they'll do great. But after a while of just constant combat, they will start to get tired. So it makes it very, you got to weigh your options. And there is a wait option in the campaign map itself. So that means, you wait about 15 minutes, your crew gets to rest up. And that way they gain back energy. So they're more, ready for fights and stuff like that. And here you see I'm shooting machine guns right now, which I've got the commander. If you open the hatch, you can actually get on the 50 cal that is mounted. And certain tanks don't have them, certain tanks do. Fortunately, the Pershing's got it all. And you've
Does
actually...
the
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, does the machine gun have different ammo as well, or is it just like a standard ammo?
It's just standard ammo. The machine guns don't really have
Oh,
anything. The machine guns actually get a bonus to fire, though. And certain, like the assistant driver, which is PC, there's certain perks that will give you, like, better rate of fire. So that means you can fire consecutively more every turn. And that's very crucial with the loader and the assistant driver. If you're not using the ready rack option, if you look on this, yeah, 47.5% chance to kill, and I got a 47.5%. I'm the luckiest man alive. But continuing on, there's something called a fate point. So it costs you victory points to use it, but it ensures your tank doesn't get hit by a certain shot. um, which I feel like I may have wasted that fate point a little bit on those SMG squads, but I didn't want my commander to get murdered, so I'm a little bit of a baby when it comes to that, but it is what it is. But
I'm a little babe.
I'm a little bit of a baby. I could go on for hours about this game. But it is just so much fun, and I really enjoy it. Like I said, it's a very niche game for people that like roguelikes, but World War II with tanks. Um, but I don't, if you, as long as you know what you're getting into, you know, it's a great game. It really is. I enjoy it. Um, there's just so many like little things that just make the game what it is. The crew, the weather system, the campaigns especially, because you can play, Russians, Germans, Italians, French, Americans, British, all sorts of stuff. And the campaigns, like the desert, especially the Desert Rats campaign, makes me want to just off myself. The desert is the worst place to fight, and I like every time I do the Desert Rats campaign, I'm just like, you know what? Is it really worth it?
There's
Your
too much
tracks are
sand.
yeah, your tracks are jammed with sand. Your gun is jammed with sand.
Forest is rough.
Your
Exactly.
engine
Your
has
mouth
Gets
is
broken.
jammed
everywhere.
with sand.
Yeah. Speaking of, they actually do have a Twitter as well. So if you want to, keep with the updates of the game, go ahead and go follow them on their Twitter. The Discord community, if you are interested in the Discord, do not be afraid to join it. They are very friendly people, very, very fun, and always like Gregory himself is always open to suggestions. He, you know, if I say something, he'll be like, "Yeah, I can kind of look into it, like just like, oh, you should add this tank." And he's like, "Yeah, that's kind of a good idea, I'll look into it." And if they take the idea, Flory will, make the tank in the little up top left there, and go from there. And you see, the unit request system and stuff like that, which generally you can call in artillery and air support, but if the weather does not permit it, you are not getting either of those. But the unit support is a generally, it'll tell you the chance of you getting some support. Unfortunately, I don't get support. But I'm using a not a super Pershing, a standard Pershing with 2 other Pershings in my column, so we're pretty well off. But does anybody have any questions or anything like that? Yeah, I've been rambling on for a little bit.
Are there
Nope.
tiger tanks in that?
There are tigers, very seldom.
Oh,
Just don't drive a Rolls Royce into it.
That's an Armo reference. Oh boy. But
Rolls Royce V tank.
it depends on the which campaign you do. I'm doing a later campaign, as you can tell because of the Pershing. So tigers are a lot more rare. If you get into the game, I think it's like at the beginning and middle, you're more likely to see king tigers and tigers, which is very, very stressful considering that all we had were little Shermans. But like the thing about it is there are certain tanks that you play that are not designed directly to deal with armor. So that's why there's always a runaway option where you just go as fast as you can and hope you don't get shot.
Just tactical retreat.
Yeah, but I'm too dumb
Pop
to do
smokes,
that.
run.
Yeah, pop smoke and run. But that's what, I also feel like the, call reinforcements is for, because if you're playing something that's anti-infantry mainly, you can call in anti-tank squads, and they will deal with the big objects for you. But, it's just such a fun little game, and, for the price, you can't go wrong. I'm not doing the game any justice by talking about it. Like, I just cannot recommend it enough. It is just so much fun. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much done talking about the game here. Does anybody have any more questions? Anything like
And
that?
you said the first one is free?
Yes, the first one is actually free. So if you'd like to give it
Huh.
a shot,
Give it a shot.
the first one is a little, in my opinion, a little more difficult. But nonetheless, it is still very, very, very recommended.
yeah. Link to the free game in the description, right?
Yeah, so I'll link the Steam page to that, and actually his blog, which is on the screen. Actually, you can download it from there as well. So I will stop talking now, and we'll move into our next game, which we do not have any gameplay for, mainly because of the game that it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, so
please.
we're just gonna go back to the game recommendations tab real quick, and go ahead and take it away, Captain.
So this week, I'm recommending Honey Pop 2,
Yeah.
the long-awaited sequel to the original critically acclaimed success Honey Pop.
Oh,
Oh.
Overwhelmingly positive on the Steam store. Greatest puzzle game ever made.
Captain,
Um,
can I just say something real quick?
What?
I just want everyone to know here that all of these other games that we just talked about, these are all real weak shit compared to this one here.
Oh my god. Oh, there it is.
This is the main one right here. This is why you're here. This is the game to get out of all of these.
Yeah.
This is like Big Pogs, 10 out of 10, Tom Brady. This is what it's all about. Okay, keep going, Cap.
And this
Couldn't have said it better myself. I've been waiting 6 years for this to come out. Honeycomb Studio was not anything like the first game. It's all right, but it's not a puzzle game. But this one, boy howdy, am I excited? Am I happy? Am I happy in more ways than
Excited is a
one?
word you would use, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Captain. There's no Ico in Honey Pop 2, so it's a no from me, dog. Ico
You
was
just
the
have
shining
to,
star.
dude. Maybe she'll be in DLC.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
she's
can
a
hope.
hidden girl.
I can
Don't-
hope.
Maybe
Don't
you gotta settle for cat girls.
Wait, how
Yeah.
do you know this, Fox? Have you played it?
No.
Mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
But
Continue, Captain.
Ico best wife. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's developed by Honeypot, published by Honeypot. It took his fucking sweet time making the game, but it's finally out. It's whatever. I'm not pissed. I'm kind of pissed.
What took you so long?
Was
but
it-
it's
Was it everything that you thought that it would be, Captain?
yes, but I still have my criticisms of it. I have a pretty deep and in-depth analysis of the game, even though I haven't beaten it yet, and just call me a games journalist. I'm only like 5 hours into the game, but it's already the greatest game I've ever played in my life.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
What makes it great, Captain?
the
Movies,
goals.
puzzles. Yeah, I mean, the puzzles are a lot of fun. They added a lot of stuff to the puzzles that make them a lot different. Because if you haven't played the original Honey Pop, it's like a match 3 puzzle game where you're trying to match different kind of tile types in order to get more or less points with certain girls, and there's different strategies for each girl.
It's just like real dating.
Yeah, just like real dating.
Yeah,
You're
just-
probably
just
gonna fail,
puzzles.
and they're gonna laugh at you.
Oh my god.
And you, in the original, you kind of just had like the same puzzle formula for each girl, where you were shooting for a different type each time, but really the puzzles were more or less the same. But in this one, there's a little bit more variance in how you're going about it. You got the new double date mechanic, which in the first game you're dating one girl at a time. That's some softcore shit. You got to go for the hardcore stuff. You got to go for the 2 girls.
Oh, you sound
Um,
so insufferable right
That's my goal. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, you go for the 2 girls, and so you're doing the double date, and you got to do like the 2 puzzles at the same time. You're using the same puzzle board, but you're going for different types for each girl, so it's kind of adding a lot of depth to the strategy of the puzzles. Along with that, there's also like a baggage mechanic. So each girl comes with her own baggage, which means like, oh, here's a specific way that her puzzles are going to be different from any of the other puzzles in the game. Like for what's her name? Fucking Lillian, goth girl. Her whole shtick with the baggage I got for her is she's like fucking nihilistic and pissed off at everything all the time. And so a broken heart match, which would normally cost negatively towards you, goes positively towards her. So she's just like, you insult her and she likes it.
That's
Basically,
hot.
yeah.
That is hot. Degrade me, daddy.
Daddy issues.
She's
Oh,
also
gee.
like they introduce her. She's one of the other girls' cousins. Not by blood. Like they introduce her and it's like, oh, you're my cousin, right? Not by blood, and you're definitely 18, right?
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
your cousin.
Sweet
She's also, like-
home Alabama.
There's a greater quantity of worst girls in this game, where in Honey Pop 1 there was like really bad girl and all the rest of them I could understand somebody liking them. But this one, hoo boy. I guess it just depends on your
I would like
taste. But yeah. What, Miss B?
I was going to say, I'd like to take a moment to point out that he could have reviewed World of Horror, but instead he chose
Yeah,
Honey Pop
he could have
2.
chose any other game in his library that he's thoroughly enjoyed, and he chooses Honey Pop 2.
I was trying to
true.
be topical. I was trying to choose something that just came out.
No.
This is true, but I also want to point out that real Chads have all played Honey Pop because it's the best game ever.
No,
Yeah.
Like
you have Honey Pop.
I know. I enjoyed it thoroughly
You
because
like Honey
Ico.
Pop.
I go for Ico. I'm all about the sweet Christmas cake known as Ico.
to hear
You're
him
not-
his desk. That's just how serious he is.
Yeah, he's slamming his Ico figure onto the desk.
Yeah.
You're not into Momo?
It's time for a kitty quiz, Cat.
Oh, please no.
But
Okay, Captain, hold up real quick. Who is best girl so far from what you've played?
it's a pretty good tie, I think. It's between either like Lailani, who's like this like kind of like kind-hearted Polynesian chick, and Nora, like this Latina tomboy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know PC was in that game.
Yeah, it's basically like
Oh.
female PC.
Don't.
He's like, don't you bring me into this shit.
Damn, PC, you kind of cute, bro.
Damn dog, I don't want any part of that though.
Damn, dog, I don't
All
even
right.
know you, though.
All right, I'm sorry, Captain. Go ahead and continue.
No, yeah. There are like some return characters from previous games, not Ico, as Fox is eager to point out.
God.
Because, like, didn't a bunch of the Honeycam Studio girls, like, aren't they in here now, but with, like, better art?
Yeah, I think some of the Honeycam Studio girls are in the game. I've blocked out a lot of my memories of Honeycam Studio.
It's probably
You
make you
know,
live longer.
real quick, I just want to say, how are you gonna bring back Jesse, but not Ico?
I like Jesse. I liked Ico too, but I like Jesse.
Ico is just so much better, though.
I don't know how much more you could do with Ico's character in the
There's
game.
just so much you could do with Ico's character.
Where Jesse's like in the new game, you know, in the previous game, her whole thing was like she really likes like the sexuality matches.
I'm a depressed MILF.
Yeah, but now she's an even more depressed.
No.
And
Normal
went
MILF
from-
in 2020 turns into super depressed MILF.
yeah,
Yeah.
it went from her favorite match being romance, or not romance, sexuality, to now it's romance. Because she's like, oh god, I kind of spent my whole life doing porn. My daughter's abandoned me. Fuck everything. Holy shit.
Oh, geez, we're getting a little deep here.
And actually her baggage, the baggage I have for her right now, is that her vagina's all bust up from doing porn for like 20 years.
Oh,
So
God.
like she doesn't even feel the sexuality matches. You just can't
Wow.
match sexuality for her.
She's fucking numb. Oh, dang.
Crawling
Uh,
in my skin.
A criticism I have of the game though is like where Honey Pop 1, it was kind of more like you were building up a relationship with these girls. You were going on like multiple dates. I think by like the 4th date or 5th, I don't remember, was the time you actually like got to do the dirty. You got to do the horizontal tango. You got to
Ooh.
plow her bean field.
Oh,
Oh,
Thanks, Fallout 3.
promise.
no.
What
In
are
this
you kids
one-
talking about?
In this one, you pretty much just do like 2 dates and that's it, with each pair of girls. So there's way less build up. It doesn't feel as rewarding to finally get the scene. It makes me feel dirty.
Oh,
And but yeah, overall a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. Yeah, totally recommend it. It's $20 on the Steam store by the time
Yes,
this comes
sir.
up,
Yes, sir.
because there was a freaking discount, but it's going to expire by the time the episode goes up. So fuck you, I guess.
Yep. 20,
And
20 bucks.
yeah, $20. Totally worth it. It's a lot of fun. I love the game.
No Ico.
It's good to
Don't recommend.
yeah. Yeah, no Ico. That's right. No Ico.
I don't know if you've fully beaten it yet, Captain, but in terms of like the overall game length, would you say it's comparable to the original Honey Pop, or
It's like it. I haven't beaten it yet. You're kind of the whole goal of the game is you're trying to get fairy wings, which is like every time somebody has a threesome, somebody gets fairy wings.
oh hell yeah?
And
Oh.
you
I've never heard of Red Wings.
So disgusted. It's like, what is this?
yeah, you get fairy wings, and you're supposed to build up a whole bunch of them to throw into a volcano to awaken to
That just sounds
Eldritch.
like murder.
Yeah, you're trying
It's
to
like
awaken to
Scientology.
What is this, World
Yeah.
of War?
pretty much World of Horror and Scientology. You're trying to awaken 2 eldritch entities who are about to go on their period and like destroy the earth.
Okay, and moving on.
Do you get to sleep with the Eldritch entities?
I would
It's
be
like
surprised.
probably
if,
a
like,
secret ending.
Okay, I mean that's the real important.
Well,
I mean, I think the whole reason you're kind of like, this is all like one big training montage for you to get to be so good at threesomes that you fuck 2 cosmic entities into submission,
that's
basically.
hot, dude.
Oh,
Galaxy Chan.
that's the best way to save the world
Sounds
or
like
the
Yeah.
universe.
mythology shit.
You lost me at like everything Honey Pop, but then you kind of found me at the end there.
Yeah, all you got to do is do all the Honey Pop stuff, and you get to that.
PC has checkmarked the definitely interested box.
Add it to wish list.
One thing I'm
my
actually
cart
gonna be
now,
really
actually.
upset about if they don't include at the beginning of the game, Q is like, "Yo, dude, I can't fuck clients anymore," and like she's the best girl in the entire series. Don't at me. And
What about
I'm gonna
Ico?
be real peeved. I'm gonna be real peeved if I have to go through the whole game and I don't get any.
She's just gonna be the super secret like new game plus boss.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that would be great. Or like totally not Palutena, who you get in the first game.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Moving on. Thank you.
You're
for
not
that,
even letting
Captain.
me end my own
Oh,
topic.
yeah. Go. You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. You know what?
No, I was
We've
gonna end
gotten.
it right there anyway. but
Well, okay, fine. So next is PC's recommendation, which is $25 on the Steam store. PC, go ahead and take it away.
Right, so super hot. I'm doing the VR version because I actually found that a lot more fun than like the regular version. There are two versions of this game, both like obviously the one in VR and the regular one, and the game is available on multiple platforms, including PlayStation, Xbox, Windows, Oculus, Switch, even on the Mac if you wanted to do that to yourself. Yeah, published by the Super Hot team. We're actually coming up on the 5-year anniversary of it, which might mean discounts. I'm not too sure. Released in February 25th, 2016. It's a game where time moves anytime you move. So any movement you make, that's when time starts moving. Otherwise, it's super slow-mo. So like in the VR version, you're like it's fully interactive where like you can throw things, you can block bullets, for example, like I did right there. And it's just dodge bullets, and it's super crazy because like in VR, if you like look away for like half a second, you could just and you turn it back around, like time starts moving again, and you could see a bullet coming at you, and you could try your hardest to dodge it, and like it's sometimes just impossible because of the choices you've made. And like you can kill people just by like punching them, throwing objects at them, all that kind of stuff. and there's all actual like gun physics and like it's a bunch of like crazy things that you could do. It's very unique in the way that this game works, especially for when it came out. It was completely, I'd say, revolutionary in the fact that like everything that you do like just kind of changes the game around you. Where like
You just shot that guy in
guns,
the dick.
yeah, fuck that guy.
VR has come a long way in the last 5 years, I'm told.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But
Yeah,
what VR headset did you play this on? PC?
when I played it, I used the Oculus Quest, or I mean the Oculus Rift. Sorry.
Gotcha.
And it works really well, and it's actually not too taxing on your actual like performance at all. But it's one of those games where like if you die, you have to like restart the level, which can get frustrating, but at the same time, you kind of like learn and like especially in VR, it's a lot more fun if you like redo a mission, you find new ways to do something. You throw something a certain way where you know an enemy is gonna be, and just immediately off the bat, like straight into the action every level.
Oh no! You just Kurt Cobain that man.
Oh no.
I will just also say that I've also played this game in VR on the Oculus Quest 2, and it is like probably the very first thing that you should buy. It's like if you want to be like John Wick / The Matrix, like dodging bullets and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It is incredibly entertaining.
Reach
And there's
inside.
also like sort of like a cool like hacker story thing that goes along with it, which is also a part of the normal PC games. Because I think there's 2 normal PC games, aren't there?
Yeah, there's Super Hot and Super Hot Mind Control, which is like
yeah.
version.
And I've played the first one. I haven't played the Mind Control Delete one, but it's a very fun setup doing the like the amount of playability which you can get out of like time only moves when you move. Like it sounds simple, but it is endlessly entertaining.
What's going on with your hands there, PC?
It's
This is
a
like
special move that you get.
yeah, you unlock a special power where like you can just like explode the enemy's head from like a distance.
It like takes
Did you
time to
just-
charge up, but you just like close both your hands and you hold it for a bit, and then whoever you're pointing it at, their head like explodes.
Did you just punch that bullet?
I mean, yes.
Oh, PC, you're doing the exact same thing as me, where when you want to move time, you just move your hands around to just speed it up.
Just do a little
Yeah,
dance.
I
that's
do
kinda
the
how you
exact same thing, just like,
kinda have
alrighty,
to
let's
do it
go,
like
let's go.
that.
I'm just gonna do the freaking tango here real quick to keep it going.
How'd you find like the aiming and all that in VR?
It's a little weird because like there's a lot of games that like use like guns in VR, and they all have like their own like mechanic to it. But like once you get used to it, you can get pretty good at it. Where like you can even start to like multitask where like you shoot a bullet in one direction, you know a bullet's coming at you, you look the other direction, you throw something like ahead of the enemy and kind of like lead them a little bit with the object and stuff. And it just yeah, it just becomes there's so much versatility to like how you can play the game.
What like makes it cool is it's almost like pseudo turn based. Because if you just stop moving, you can just like evaluate your like situation and what you need to do
Oh.
next, which is part of the fun with like leading the bullets or picking up like a static object to block a bullet or something like that.
Right, yeah.
You just need some like Castlevania playing in the background, like your John Wick.
Oh, this like really makes me want to go play the original. I've not played that in a while.
Let's make it
Didn't-
play again.
Did
And then
Or in a kneecap.
what's really cool about, I don't know if they do
Felt
this in VR, but in the PC version, you get like a little replay of everything they did in the level in real time.
yeah, and you look like a badass.
Yeah, they do have that. And an interesting fact about this. Usually players take like around like 2 hours to complete like the whole game. It's not a very long game. But the speed run for this game is 18 minutes.
Wow.
And considering how like kind of like slow
The like
movement
gameplay is.
is in this game, it's actually really impressive.
Yeah,
That,
like you can't
that
move
must be
around.
basically doing it in real time at that point.
That
Is
guy
is that a VR speedrun or is it like?
No, it's just a regular game
Oh, okay.
speed run.
you just blocked that bullet with your gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty
that's a thing you
impressive.
can do. You can block a bullet with a mug.
So how disorienting is this game in VR? Like I know certain games have pretty
not that
bad
bad.
like
It's not that bad, especially since like you're literally just standing there, like you don't
Yeah.
move around. Like
Well,
You
you
can
can
get-
move around, but you're not like moving long distances. You're like
yeah,
just moving in like a small circle.
right.
It's like based on where your head's at.
Yeah, and it can get scary at times. Like a lot of VR games where like you don't see things coming because like they're out of your field of view, and then you turn around and that it's right there. There's a bullet coming right at you, right in your face. And I've done that a couple times, like where I just like I look around for another enemy, and like I turn around back to like where the enemies are in front of me, and there's a bullet literally about to hit me. It is like a millimeter away from my face, and it scares the shit out of me.
Oh, you just whip that dude's head off.
Oh.
What are you Jack Sparrow?
That's Captain Jack Sparrow.
But you have heard of me.
Oh,
Yeah, you see like
Oh.
that, where like you look towards the direction and there's stuff flying at you, and I lucked out on that one.
And I think what's cool about Super Hot VR is like the original Super Hot and the sequel, The Mind Control Delete, were both great games. But like the way that Super Hot lends itself to like the VR environment, it just works so well. And it just makes it all the more fun because you can like lean back and dodge bullets or like do all of this stuff, which just makes you feel really, really cool.
He's beginning to believe. Oh,
And like, can't you like grab stuff out of people's hands? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that.
Snag that knife.
Split the bullets.
Curve the bullets.
Can you curve them?
No.
No.
There is no spoon.
But then you
Goodbye.
just wait and do the freaking tango with your hands and punch him in the face.
It's too bad that you couldn't take that gun with you into the future.
And there's also, I know for like the normal games, and I think a little bit for the VR version too, there's like a storyline which is kind of like it's like you're like a hacker and you're like going through.
It's basically
Like
Matrix, but like a little bit dumbed down.
Yeah,
Dumb
like,
down Matrix.
these like super hot like these red guys that you're fighting. Isn't this like it's like a simulation or like a program or something like that?
Yeah. So like they're basically like basically like Matrix, like the what's his name? The guy, I forget his name.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Basically Mr. Smith, who's like tasked to enforce to like protect the fucking thing. And you're basically like manipulated into like bringing that whole system down.
You're fighting the power.
Yeah, you're not really doing a lot of it of your own volition.
Well, yeah, because like, don't you get brought into it by like there's like another hacking group that like brings you into it, and it's like you have to figure out the system, Neo. You are the chosen one.
I didn't realize we were getting into super hot lore here.
The deep lore of super.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was an actual lore behind the game. Like, I knew it was always entertaining to watch, because, like, I'd watch Captain play it for, like, an hour. I was like, man, this is so entertaining.
No, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a good exercise, especially in VR. You know, you can bob and weave, get those hip flexors going, get some of them crunches in. You know what I
Pop,
mean?
lock, and drop in VR.
You still go to the gym? I play super hot VR to get my workout.
You know, can't go to the gym because of that Rona. Play some super hot. It's all good.
Yeah. Problem solved right there. And again,
Like some honey pop.
$25. Or some
Yeah.
honey pop, wink, wink.
There you go. You know, one is
That's also a workout.
one is cardio, one is also cardio. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just don't worry about it, boys.
There's a lot of different ways to do cardio.
It's pretty impressive. So yeah, again, $25 on the Steam store if you have, $25 in a VR headset. Even if you don't have a VR headset,
Yeah,
pick it up.
even if you
It's
don't have a
impressive.
VR
very fun
headset,
game.
it's mad fun. Like, highly recommended.
Just pick it up. You DJs,
Buy
come on,
it
just do
now.
it.
This makes me want to get a VR headset.
Yeah,
Me too.
yo. Also, just like quick plug for anybody, Oculus Quest 2 just came out. It's a freestanding headset which you can also connect to your PC to get full VR capability. It's only like $300, which is not cheap, but it's not like $1,000, which the older VR headsets were. The only downside is you have to have a Facebook account to play it, which is a little annoying. This is true, but if you already have a Facebook, it is a great VR headset, which you can basically do all modern, cool VR stuff, but without being hooked up to a PC if you don't want to be.
I mean, there's also the HTC Vive. If you still wanna plug it into your PC, the controllers are not as ergonomic as like the Oculus controllers, but the Vive, the upside is you don't have to have a Facebook account to fucking use it.
Now, one thing with VR headsets, the storage. I know that certain headsets have to be stored in dark spaces, correct?
That's pretty much true with, I think, all VR headsets. The big thing is they don't do good with sunlight going through the lenses, because it kind of works, at least as I understand this. You also probably know something about this PC, but like the way the lenses work.
Yeah, it's basically like a magnifying glass.
Yeah, and it fries the screen which it's on.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard. Like, just
Yeah, just put a
Keep it in
towel
space.
over the lenses. That's it. You
And-
don't
and,
have to like have a special room for it.
And like they also make like little, like there's a company called VR Cover which makes like a little lens thing which you can put over it, which just fits over the lenses on the inside, which does, not only does it keep sunlight out of it, but it also keeps the lenses from being scratched. So it's a real good investment. But
Well, that's
yeah, no, it's
all
VR.
right.
VR headsets definitely the way of the future. Super hard VR.
Well, we're gonna discuss that later, so don't you worry.
Oh.
We are getting now into the games that we do not recommend. Some of these we're gonna have a little bit of arguments on because I know that there are some people that are gonna disagree with me on some of them. For honor money. All right, so we're gonna get into it. So the first one is Escape from Tarkov, which
no.
isn't really like a don't recommend. It is a great game, and it's very promising, but there's just a lot of issues that need to be addressed. And I partially think it's the questing system. Like, trying to do certain quests, it's almost impossible if you're not with a group. And,
And the hackers.
oh, the hackers have been worse here recently. Generally, Nikita and his team will go through and ban a lot of people, but this wipe has been horrible. And people are just like, oh, well, you're bad at the game. And that's true, I am bad at the game, but, I mean...
I'm worse at the game.
Oh
Make
yeah.
anyone feel better.
It just... I don't know. There's a lot of things going for it, but for me, personally, there's a lot of things that are really causing, issues with the game.
And
Grenade launcher.
Well, wait. For anyone who doesn't know what Tarkov is, PC, do you want to give a brief explanation since I feel like you know the best about it?
yeah, unfortunately, I do know the best about it. Tarkov is more of a military simulator, but like more PvP than anything else. You mainly progress through questing, leveling up your character, unlocking items from vendors, and unlocking, earning money. And there's also like a barter system where like you would put up an item that you found within a raid and you survived with to sell, and then you can make more money by selling that. And like there's items that are worth a lot more, and people who are price gouging pieces of shit who do that in the beginning of the game.
Just say it. It's a loot simulator.
It's basically a loot simulator.
The like big thing is like basically like you go into a raid, which is like a mission, like a multiplayer mission in a map, and you bring in gear, and if you die, you lose all of the gear that you brought in. But conversely, if you kill somebody, like another player in the game, you can take all their gear, and if you get out, you get to keep all their gear. So it's like a risk reward game, like where it's turned up super high, all in like the shell of like a milsim game, and it does that really well. But it's tricky because it can be really aggravating if it goes wrong.
My experience with Escape from Tarkov is nobody is willing to work with you at all. Whether it be the market or in game. Besides, like the few little scav players that I've run into, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I was gonna say
dude,
this coming from the guy who can like befriend any scav.
Yeah,
like I would just shoot. I would
true.
just shoot him right away. Fox is like, hey, you wanna trade? Trade stuff?
Yeah, middle
No,
raid.
no words. No words. Just he goes up to him.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of wiggle. I walk up. I'm like, yo, hey, what you got in that bag, dude? I've got some bullets here. Maybe we can make a deal. Hands
Just to
rubbing
walk up,
together.
like cheeky breeky Domka, and they'll drop a Taz and you drop a 4 and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Like the one I had where it was like I was wounded and I was like coughing or something, and this guy like I guess heard me or something, but he like ran up and threw some meds down. I was like, It's like he's gonna be my friend. He followed me all the way to extract. I was like waiting for him to shoot me in the back of the head, but he never did.
Yeah, there are a few situations where you run into people that are friendly, but majority of the time, like, people aren't going to give you a single inch. They're going to be like, no, you're fucking dead. But,
or you'll be accused baselessly of stealing someone's trizip.
Oh my gosh.
I stole the trizip money. There was I threw down the trizip. You knew I had a trizip, and it was
I
on the
didn't know
roof.
you had a trizip.
I just
okay.
I literally killed that guy for the loot.
All right. But
All I'll say is that friendships are made and broken on the Russian battlefield. That's all I'll say.
But by all means, like, I don't not recommend Tarkov. It's just, it's a very, very complex game to get into, and it's very difficult when you
It's
first
also
get going.
incredibly unforgiving.
Oh,
like,
yes, dude. Like, you could run out of
Like,
money and just be screwed.
like if you have like anxiety about like loot games, like
Oh
Do
gosh.
not
I
play
don't know.
Tarkov.
Yeah, like yeah.
It's also a Tetris simulator.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yes,
too.
it is.
yeah, we could listen to Miss B rant on and on and on about the
Well,
market.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
back in the
like,
Wild West, the market.
like half of Tarkov is actually playing the game and shooting people, and the other half is price gouging on the market and like freaking hedging your bets, like Miss B does.
Like recently, since Mr. Musk has been talking about Bitcoin in Tarkov is related to the real price of Bitcoin, and it has gone up. And the price of fuel.
Wait, is it actually?
Yep.
Is
Yes.
Bitcoin and Tarkov actually based on
Yep.
real Bitcoin?
Yep.
So
So at the
Certainly
moment,
everything surrounding Bitcoin, everything needed to acquire Bitcoin in the game has,
the price has
It's-
been
it's got-
raised. Like,
That's actually
consequences.
So-
Yes.
so imagine money. The price from fuel from what's his name?
Jaeger.
Jaeger is 140,000 for a metal fuel tank. On the market, they're
Is
going
that
for
the 80 one or the 40 one?
that's the 100 one.
Oh, 100. Okay.
And on the market, they're going for around 500K plus
For fuel?
for fuel.
Yep.
Wasn't fuel like 100 something?
Yeah,
Was it 100,000?
because
It was.
Elon Musk
Used to be.
talked about Bitcoin, the
Goodness.
price for fuel in Tarkov has gone up. Elon
Yeah,
Musk,
this-
if you're
this
watching
is
this,
one of
this
those
is your
games.
fault.
Yeah, this is one of those games where like real life affects the in-game like currency and like mechanics and stuff.
I have nothing to say. Oh,
But,
That's some nightmare stuff.
You know, we're gonna move on. We're gonna speed through these real quick because we've been running a long time. So Miss B, Alan Wake, go.
Oh, bored me to tears. The gameplay,
Damn.
boring. The combat, boring. The story, boring.
I disagree.
It was pain. Everyone was raving like, "Oh, this is a great game. I finally picked it up." Boring.
It's
Ugh.
All right. Captain Daisy, go.
It's Daisy.
It's
It's
not
just
finished.
like
It'll never be finished.
it'll never be finished. I
Like Tarkov.
I love the mod. I love the mods for the mod. And I was so excited when the standalone was coming out. And it was just a big disappointment. It's not much fun. There were no zombies when I played it at the beginning. I know that's been rectified by now, but I think that ship's kind of passed for me.
All right,
Just didn't enjoy it.
Katayama, Fallout 76, go.
Oh, geez, I actually didn't play this one, but
Todd
the
Howard lied to us.
Todd Howard
Not
lied to us.
16 times the detail, Todd. Stop lying.
The lack of friendly NPCs and the fact that also people get banned for like glitches and stuff that happen. Like I remember there's like a guy, but he was having like his stuff duplicate, and so he bug reports it to Bethesda. It's like, hey, like this thing is happening. Like I don't know like what's going on, but you guys should try to like fix it. And they're like, cool, ban.
What?
They're like, get that. Oh, nice. You found this dupe problem. Like, no, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
like,
but-
you're not
but-
playing this game.
You know what? Bethesda is full of assholes, and I hope, you know what? Just to spite them, I hope their next game doesn't sell well.
Honestly, like it really blows me away because like Bethesda's done a lot of really great stuff in the gaming space, like historically, with the whole Elder Scrolls series and the whole Fallout
Horse
series.
Armor DLC.
But like honestly, like with Fallout 76 and some of the business practices that they've put on, like I think that they've genuinely damaged their credibility and reputation as a gaming company, which will either take decades to be fixed, or it'll just never come back. And I only hope to God that frickin' the next Fallout and what are they, Elder Scrolls 6 and what's it, Starlink, is that the
Yeah.
sci-fi one that they're doing?
Starfield.
Yeah,
I
Elon.
don't know.
Can we talk about the pre-order, please? Can we talk about the pre-order?
Oh yeah, the pre-order thing was a lie and a hoax, and Bethesda no.
You're lying, Todd. Stop lying to me, Todd.
Tell me sweet
Stop
little
giving me the
lies.
nanobots.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet
Lies,
little lies.
lies.
All right,
no.
Cat, again, Rainbow Six Siege, go.
Ah, geez, Rainbow Six. Well, at the start of it, it was a pretty okay game. It definitely had its flaws, but over time and once it got a lot of popularity, and different people from different communities and stuff started joining, it kind of got into like a really super toxic place. And Ubisoft was not going to do anything about that until like very recently, like probably like a year ago. I don't know. I haven't played it in about a year or more. But reporting people did not do anything. There were rampant cheaters. Ranked was a cesspool, and Ubisoft as devs up until recently started catering more towards a very a very elite, and I say that like that.
That's
because
L33T for anyone who doesn't know.
yeah, a very elite portion of the player base that wanted rank to be a lot like the pro leagues and how they do things professionally, and that does not really cater to a more or less casual player like myself. But that is kind of just me. But I really don't think they should have gone in that direction.
Rainbow Six has been out for over 5 years now. Like when I first started playing it, I enjoyed it, but then as time went on, it's like this is getting worse and worse, and they weren't fixing any of the core issues of the game. They're just like, oh, let's release more content.
Oh, you know what's
It's just
funny?
gone downhill.
The
Ubisoft is run to the ground.
The most recent update. You know how Callie could down somebody with the shot from her sniper rifle?
Mm-hmm.
The damage is comparable to a fucking Nerf gun hitting somebody directly in the face.
Does it not down them anymore?
Nope.
But like headshots still kill, right?
Nope.
Headshots still kill?
Oh yeah, headshots kill. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I was reading something when I said.
Okay, hold up. Since we need to keep it moving, I just want to say my piece about Rainbow Six Siege. It's a cool game in terms of the basis and everything, but the issue is that they've just been spinning it for a long time. It is really hard to learn. Like if you're going in there without a group of friends to like teach you stuff, like it'll take a whole lot to figure out. And also the toxicity of the community can be a little bit much. So it's not like it's not Fallout 76. Like don't get it twisted. It's not that bad, but it does have its issues. So yes. Okay, and we're gonna move on to the last one, which I know what it is because me and Fox disagree on it. For Honor.
Anthem. We forgot about Anthem.
Oh, Anthem. Yeah, don't play Anthem. They tried to make Destiny, but it was Iron Man, but it didn't work, and now they're trying to come out with Anthem 2.0. Maybe it'll be better. BioWare has lost all credibility between Mass Effect, Andromeda, and Anthem. They've just went straight down the drain. So big sad, but such is life.
Yeah, and it just I don't know. EA is just a disappointment.
Big sad.
All right, so getting into For Honor, I can explain one or multiple reasons why it's bad. The CCU was a joke. Caters to people that don't know how to play and are not willing to learn how to play. Let me just throw a light in the middle of your combo to disrupt you and go into an impossible chain of lights to parry. Before the CCU, you could parry any combo light if you were fast enough and skilled enough to do it after, time of practice and very hard work. The new heroes. Let's talk about Warmonger. When she was first released, she was fucking ridiculously fast. She's a lot better now after being nerfed a little bit. And then they released Griffin. Now let me talk about the CCU before we get into Griffin.
For anyone who doesn't know, the CCU means Core Combat Update. It was a big suite of changes that they made to the game, which changed things like attack times and parrying times.
And also, if anyone doesn't know, this is another Ubisoft game, which I think I'm seeing a connection here.
So the CCU, when it was first introduced, PK was like when PK hit you, was like being hit by a fucking Nerf sword. She did like 5 damage. It was stupid. Now she's fucking OP because of her update, which thank fucking God she finally got a well-deserved fucking update. So did Nobushi, but getting into it, the CCU was supposedly making all lights 500 ms. What they failed to tell you is that the timing for the indicators are almost 200 ms, especially on Griffin. his side, let's see, his second light in his combo chain was 200 ms. 200.
Well, no, the indicator is 200 ms. The actual timing, I believe, is 400 ms.
Yeah, so they're breaking their own rule by saying all
Well,
lights are 500
Yeah.
ms.
well, no, not all combo lights are
Oh,
500.
yeah,
ms.
but still.
Okay. Anyway, this is what I'll say. For Honor is a game which is also kind of unforgiving and similar to Rainbow Six Siege. It has not exactly been managed as well as it could be through, Ubisoft. They have a lot of issues. But what I will say is that it is a good sort of third-person fighting game type deal. If you like sort of Dark Souls-esque combat, PvP combat, but you want it in a more structured format, For Honor is still a good game. It is still a fun game, but there is a incredibly high barrier to entry, very similar to Siege at this point.
Just keep in mind, if you see money in a game, he's playing Tiandi, just let him kill you.
I'm not
Because he's just
that
gonna
good.
spam you.
All you need to know is I throw my zone a lot, and I also do the palm bash too much. But that's because I am a scum of the earth Tiandi player.
All right.
Also the Woodland.
All right,
anyway.
we are done. Let's move into the next topic, which is microtransactions. Here we go, boys. All right.
boy.
So DLC started with Atari's 2600 game line service, allowing users to download games through the telephone line. What they didn't tell you is that it was $60 for the hardware, $15 membership fee, and $1 per game. Keep in mind, this is 1983.
For anyone who's wondering, Fox just drank like 3 5-hour energy.
No.
So
I'm a little
like
8
upset
hours
right
of
now.
energy.
I'm a little heated right now because of For Honor.
He's
but
having a heated gamer.
yeah,
This is the guy that goes 16-5 regularly on For Honor, and he's the one that's mad.
One of these days, we're gonna do a For Honor stream so you can hear Fox and his full.
Oh no, you don't
I've
want that.
got several recordings already.
Anyways, so 2006, Bethesda releases Horse Armor DLC for The Elder Scrolls 4. But Horse Armor cosmetics. Yeah.
Oh no.
Fucking Oblivion.
I don't like that voice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They get, just very horrible negative reviews, yet they still continue with DLCs, Very, very smart. And then we get
money.
And then we get into games like Star Citizen, $27,000 in DLC. Anybody got something to say about that?
Get all of the different. Star Citizen is almost a whole topic all on its own, but
Why would I pay a car's price for a fucking game?
Yeah,
you get a spaceship.
Because I want to get that spaceship aircraft carrier.
The thing about Star Citizen, keep in mind that any ship that you buy in their little store, you can lose permanently.
So it's the Tarkov of space.
Yeah, it's Tarkov of space, except for Tarkov.
It's Tarkov of space, but with real money.
Yeah, with real money. It's like EVE
Tarkov.
Online.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but we get into our second one, Train Sim. $10,373. When do we stop? This is getting out of hand.
Train Simulator, bitch. Watch that train go.
So are these just DLC or are these actual microtransactions? Because when I hear microtransactions, I'm either thinking pay to win or I'm thinking goofy cosmetic skins, which I'm okay with the one, especially like a lot of free to play games. The only reason that they can exist are because people are paying to get things from the game, and as long as it's not giving them any like distinct advantage or anything like that, it's like okay, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, DLCs are a version of microtransactions, but when you look at games like Genshin Impact, for example, like you get really good characters, but you're also not doing any PvP. As of right now, I don't know if they're planning to change that or anything like that. But then you get into games like GTA 5, where it's most definitely pay to win because you can spend real money to get the best vehicles, and the best vehicles are overpowered. There is a bike that is in GTA 5 that is highly hated for various reasons, and GTA has done nothing to, deal with it. What a surprise, but
because they make that money.
I mean, it's just the problem with DLCs and microtransactions, like especially microtransactions that are very much so pay to win.
War Thunder.
War Thunder's not that bad. The vehicles that you get are half the time just as bad, so don't even. It's just they ruin the game. Like they have a great premise and the game is fun, and then you get into the microtransactions. You're like, man, like, especially like, so for Genshin Impact, there's a limit to what you can do without spending your
Well,
money. But I
well,
mean,
that's
that
like a
also,
gotcha game, which is a sort of a different kind of monetization strategy, which is more similar to loot boxes.
yeah, but I mean, I find it to be enjoyable just to play the game without spending any money. Like I've already got a 5-star, and I've maybe put like $10 into the game. But like Rocksmith 2014, I can kind of get because they're paid titles.
I've never played Rocksmith.
Well,
Is that the one with the real guitar?
yeah.
Play it. Okay.
And then you get in Dead or Alive, which is purely all cosmetics.
Hey man, if I want to pay $2,000 for my favorite swimsuit, I think that's totally
Yeah,
reasonable.
and that's completely fair. I don't have a problem with that. You know what? You do what you want to do, but I just
it's a lot of dosh. This is true.
yeah, it's getting out of hand. Like I don't know where these people think it's just regular Joes like me and you can come up with 2K. I take that back. Cat and I
people will
and
pay it,
Miss
but
B and PC and Captain.
hey man,
Are
But
you stereotyping money right now?
he is a
No.
no. But I just there's got to be an end to it, and we really should have nipped it in the butt the first time it was tried. And unfortunately, it's just where we're stuck at today. But I will admit, microtransactions have gotten a little better within the recent years because of like certain governments being like, no, no.
Yeah, Belgium cracking down.
Belgium, thank you.
Shout out to
Never
Belgium
thought I'd say that.
in the Pajama Pals
Let's
podcast.
give a quick shout out to Belgium.
My boy Belgium. My boy
Back at it
William the
again.
Orange.
Big
All
pod
right.
Belgium out here.
But that was my quick little 5-minute rant about microtransactions. But
Okay, is it time?
it's time.
Is it
What
special
about the
time?
future of gaming?
We'll discuss that after Boomer review, and then we'll
Oh,
give our goodbyes.
Another
Here we go, guys. Boomer review.
Oh boy, don't have to do that
Oh,
again.
God.
All right. So Miss
Oh,
B, go
money.
ahead and open up the image. We're gonna move in. Here you go.
Oh, I love it. It's the best kind of monster.
What is
I really
this?
wonder how that tastes.
Yeah, I want to
Alright.
know too.
It tastes like
Oh, communion wafers? Oh, damn. And Monster Energy drink? I actually want to know how that tastes
Bro,
too.
it's zero sugar
It's
too.
just gonna taste like Monster Energy drink. To be
Oh,
honest,
oh,
Communion
God,
Wafer's
zero
got, like,
sugar?
No taste.
It's gonna power the Jesus through you.
for
Who
some
uses these communion wafers?
I just imagine like seeing Jesus, but he's wearing like a Supreme jacket and like a Obey snapback. Like at the
Oh,
time.
Oh.
he comes up
Have
on
you,
a skateboard.
Have
Does a
you guys
kickflip.
seen that video about like the woman talking about how Monster Energy drink is satanic? Like
Yep,
Oh
yep.
yeah.
devil on
Like
it and
666
everything.
if you flip it upside down.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right, Miss B, what's your
Um,
honest opinion on this?
I would try that for breakfast one time, and that is it. Because I do not drink Monster Energy. I drink water. Water's good.
Do you like any
It's,
energy drink, Miss B?
No, gosh, no.
Well-
Caffeine gives me a horrid headache.
Do you,
Yeah,
do you- how about just like sodas, like Coca-Cola or
No,
anything?
no sugar. I don't do
none
well with
whatsoever?
sugar either. If I drink too much sugar, it makes me tired, or it just gives me a headache.
You'll probably live longer.
Oh,
Alright,
probably. I'll look like
live long
Tom
enough
Brady.
to
I'm
fucking
drinking one of
destroy the
those.
housing market even more.
I'm drinking one of these monsters right now, actually, and it's the so-called Boomer juice is my favorite.
I've got an IV with Mountain Dew Code Red going right into my
Oh,
bloodstream.
God.
Why do you
Nah,
have to
dude.
bring up Code
It's all
Red?
about that Baja Blast. Don't even fucking.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
don't get out of here.
dude. Oh man, I'm finna go to fucking T-Bell right now for a late night Baja Blast. Oh, yes.
Alrighty. Miss B, do you have any closing statements on Boomer review here?
No, I do not. But I'm gonna see how much it costs for communion wafers online.
You cannot. Okay. All right. We're
Miss B,
moving
your
on.
name isn't Kyle. You can't do
Yeah.
this.
All right. So the future of gaming. This is kind of a weird topic to talk about, especially since we don't really have a basis for it. But I mean, what do you guys
It's
think?
Honey Pop too. That's
Oh
the
boy,
future of
the
games.
future.
Honey Pop is the future.
I mean,
Oh,
what do you
gosh.
guys think it's gonna look like? Do you think it's gonna be strictly all VR, or are you thinking that it's just VR is gonna die,
Oh.
or just not
Honey
really?
Pop 3.
Honey Pop 3 in
4.
VR, please no, Captain, please, please.
Oh, I mean, like what I'll say about VR. I do think VR is eventually going to be the way of the future, but at the moment, like, I mean, stuff like the Oculus Quest 2 is definitely a step in the right direction, but it's just not widely used enough. And it's still too expensive, and the know-how to get it all working properly is, I think, still a little bit too high for the average consumer. So I feel like VR still has a couple years to go before it really hits the mainstream. But also, like, I also just want to say, like, Genshin Impact, for anyone who has played that, not so much because of the anime bit of it, but of the fact that, like, Genshin Impact is really notable because it's an incredibly popular game, which is available both on mobile and PC platforms as well as consoles, and it's crossplay between all of those. And I do think that is something that you will see more and more in the future, is games which are like fully crossplay between just about everything. And I also see probably the monetization is going to be pushed even harder, for better or for worse.
Yeah,
I would just like to say PC Master Race.
I really like. Unfortunately, to me, the future of gaming really does look dark, especially with the DLCs and all
It's
the
gonna be more
other.
expensive, that's for sure.
I'm very scared to see like what, because I mean some of these DLCs are running $40, and I'm like,
And the DLC cost as much or more than the initial
yeah,
game.
exactly, and you're just like,
Because like
and it
nothing is
doesn't.
full release. Nothing is full release anymore.
No,
It's
no.
Yeah,
just
how do you
like,
guys
what
feel
happened?
about like the Ubisoft games where it's like normal version, silver edition, gold version, ultimate version?
I could fill an entire 3-hour episode of our podcast with everything I hate about Ubisoft. And I hate a lot.
They make some good games, they do, but they have a lot of holdups. I don't want to fully knock Ubisoft, but they've got some real issues. They make some of the games I like the most, but they also do some of the most aggravating things in the gaming industry. So it's a love hate. It's not pure hate. Maybe for Fox it's pure hate. But
Oh, well, as in the words of our old manager way back when, you hate too much. You have too much hate in your heart. That will always stick with me, mainly because I hated the man.
I feel like Captain knows the most about this.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to get into that.
Uh,
We could talk about that all night, but we're getting close to PC. Don't do it. Don't you do it. We're getting close to the end here. Does anybody have anything that they want to get off their chest? Anything like that, other than the fact that this episode has ran on very long, and I apologize.
Yes. For anyone who has stuck around till the end, you are a real pajama pal.
You're my
You are the
boo.
real
I
pog
will
champion.
marry you.
So thank you for
You're my
that.
little pog champ.
Keep saying that. Oh, I love it.
All right.
Okay. Last thing though, before we sign off, everybody, please buy Honey Pop 2. You need to have that in your gaming library,
Do you have stock in this?
especially during
let's-
quarantine.
Buy Warhammer, Neo 2, Valheim, Armored Commander, not Honey Pop 2 because there's no ICO. Super Hot VR.
Mainly
Super
Honey
hot.
Pop 2.
No.
That's the takeaway.
No.
Yeah,
There's
mostly
no
Honey Pop
ICO.
too.
There's no ICO. But anyways, it has been awesome talking to you, gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night here. I hope you all have a wonderful night.
See you guys.
Oh,
have a good week.
See you next
Bye.
time.
see ya.
All right, adios, amigos.